Welcome back everyone to the channel. Hope you're all doing well. We are back today with another episode of our Le Mans Ultimate Mind Drive Career Mode. Episode number 5 I think we're on now. We're around here at the Fuji Motor Speedway. Absolutely beautiful track in Japan. And we're here for another 1.5 hours. Obviously if you missed what happened last time, but as we've got the standings pop up on screen here. It was another great weekend for the Peugeots of Di and Duval. Di taking the lead of the championship away from us. Duval 1 point behind his teammate, and us a further point behind the Peugeots. So very close at the top of the standings there for the fight for this championship. You've got Conway as well, who's jumped up on board with his teammate at the moment. He jumped up after that win. Around Monza, we weren't able to bring the Tifosi hat back some gold. Ended up with 5th place. Didn't really have the pace, so it was a decentish recovery drive. Our teammate Pierre Guidi having a late pit stop, throwing away a good position. And we had some newcomers last time as well. Obviously, the new update with some of the 2024 content. So we had Durrani in the Cadillac, Kubica in the AF Corsa Ferrari, and Felipe Nasr in the 75 Porsche. Penske all scoring points by their debut. Unfortunately, Will Stevens in the Jota and the 2 BMWs of Van Thor and Van der Linde weren't able to score any points last time out, so they'll be looking to rectify it this time. Looking at the team's championship now, Peugeot storming clear at the front of the field on 133 points. They've had massive consistency. They've been on the podium at every race. They've won 2 out of the 4 races, so massive consistency there from them. Us in the Ferrari in second on 98 points, yet to crack that 100 points. We'll hopefully be able to do that this weekend or this race. But Toyota are clawing their way back at us, only 9 points behind us, so very close there for spot for second. Just behind there for the best of the LMDHs. And with that being said, let's jump straight into qualifying. I like to think Fuji's quite a good track for us, although we will just have to wait and see how we get on in this qualifying session. Obviously slight difference, as always, to the real life. We have a mix of cars in this session. Normally there's only the GTs and then the hypercars go out. We decided to add that extra jeopardy and have GTs and hypercars out at the same time. So as we just take it nice and easy on our warm-up lap, because cold tyres on these hypercars make them extremely difficult to drive. We're just going to get the tyres into a nice operating window and then go for some quali laps and see where we can qualify. Obviously we had a fairly good qualifying last time, up in 4th, which we had more pace in qualifying than the race, so hopefully this time any qualifying pace that we do have we can replicate in the race as well. So yeah, let's just get our heads down, put some quali laps in. So as we come across the line for our first lap, 131.3, not spectacular, about a second and a bit off as we go a bit deep there. That won't be good, but I mean we can probably, a lot of that lap time is probably due to getting caught up as we get past Rexy in the same spot. Okay, a little bit deep there. See, we've made up quite a bit of time there. Made up massive time there. Through, I think it's 120R? 170R? Can't quite remember. So 30R at Suzuka. We put in another purple middle sector. So we're running quite a lot of downforce around here. That is going to hinder us on the straight, so we might have to trim that back a little bit. But the downforce at the moment is giving us excellent traction through the tight and twisty middle sector. So didn't get quite as good as an exit as we did the lap before. I think this might put us second, perhaps? Yeah, second, or just behind Conway. Well, purple last sector as well. We can nail this corner, which... don't know about nailed, but we got a lot better than we did the lap before, though I think we got better drive off it the lap before, unfortunately. Gone deep there. Oh, as we've spun it there, that corner always gets me, always catches me out. So that is us in second. So we've got Conway getting Toyota home pole position here at Fuji. Us in second. Luke Duval 8/10 off. Quite a large gap there. Maybe just wasn't a clean lap. Pierre Guidi just behind him. So Pierre Guidi, our teammate, will be starting behind us on the grid. This is Toto Bimi in 5th. DeResta down in 6th. And with the first of the Cadillacs in 7th, Dame Crown in 8th, BMW getting up into the top 10, and then Kubica in the other AF score, or in the AF score, out the top 10. Now, are there any shock DNFers? Nope. Yeah, I think Da Costa and I think Van der Linde probably having lots of on that lap, especially Da Costa. Let's go see if we can take this win away from Toyota. Right, so just before we go and head to the grid for the 1.5 hours of Fuji, it's important to note at the end of this race there is the threat of rain, so it'll be extreme whether it causes us to need to change the tyres or not. Let's head to the grid. Been a little while since we've been on the front row. 60 miles an hour.
Green flag, green flag.
And away we go, we get dropped a little bit by Conway as well. We're going to cover off Duval all the way to the inside. Oh, as we get tagged there. Not too sure what happened there. I think potentially tagged by the Peugeot. Do we have damage? Looks like we escaped damage free, but we're going to try our best to get past Duval. We really don't want to lose this position here to him. I think as we would get massive snap of oversteer. Try and go around the outside, having an absolutely titanic scrap here on the opening lap. He gets a pretty good run, but we've got the inside line. And into this little hairpin chicane, we keep Duval behind us. We'll have to go check on the replay what happened there at the start. So here we have the start of the race, race replay. Got us starting on second place, not over inside, pushing Duval up against the barrier, and he just turns into us. Interesting. I wonder if we picked up some damage from that as we go 3 wide with Duval and our teammate, although his side looks pretty undamaged. And they're going to drag up the hill. And do we stay ahead? We're going to dive late in, we're going to keep our nose in it. We're going to have to go around the outside, stick behind them for now. Try and do a little bit of a switchback, get a little bit of a squiggle on there, you can see. Can we dive it down the outside? Get a good run around the outside actually there. He's going to get a good run. Traction out of that corner. And it's going to be dragged down towards the sort of hairpin chicane. Who's going to stay ahead? We are just going to manage to keep that position ahead of Duval. Excellent braking there at the start for us. I think Conway probably running a little bit less downforce than us. I mean, at the moment we're just chilling. As long as we stick with him, we're not really in a rush to overtake him. You know, at this stage I'd rather save a little bit of fuel, a little bit of energy rather, and just stick behind him. Which might be what Duval is doing. Duval, after losing that place, or not being able to take that place from us at the start, might just be hanging back, conserving some energy. Right, we're going to start hitting GT traffic. They're battling up ahead as we can see. Let's take it nice and easy, get through here unscathed. Try and not lose Burnley as well, which might be easier said than done. He's going to get caught massively here. Oh no, he isn't, he's just going to go around the outside. Fair play by Conway. And if we could stay sort of within a 1 or 2 second bubble of Conway, I'd be pretty happy. Nice straightforward passes on the straight, just what we like. Oh, big traffic here. It's cut underneath the Ferrari. We're going to go around the outside. He's going to look for as he cuts across us almost. And we're going to go side by side with Conway. Quite wide there. We're going to get boxed in. We have to wait for him to get past us. It's absolute carnage here. As we try and battle our way through the GTs. Almost getting taken out there. We've got GT back up our outside. It's purely about survival right here. Obviously the GTs are not obliged to get out of the way. There are blue flags, but they don't work the same as an F1. An F1, you get shown a blue flag, you gotta jump out of the way. In WEC, you get shown a blue flag, and that's just to inform you that there's a fast car coming through. These races are in a race of their own, so they shouldn't have to get out of the way of us. Yeah, we've got the faster car, we should obviously breeze past them. It's our obligation to overtake them safely. Oh, heart and mouth moment there. Thought we weren't going to stop in time. Or that we were going to have the Toyota, as we're just going to follow the Toyota through here. The Toyota, I think, tags the Ferrari there. Wonder if they've taken any damage to that. We're just going to try and use the downfall to go all the way back. In all of that exchange, Duval has caught up to us. I think it was about 9 seconds behind now. He's only, what, 4? But he has got that big lump of traffic to get through. Unless he can do it all on that straight, which I don't think he can. Little dregs of the traffic now. The Conway's going to dive up the inside of Niekausberg. Doesn't quite pull it off. We try and go around the outside. Can we pull off this audacious move? I think we're just going to have to let Conway back past, but we get a little switch back there. We're going to go wide again. Can we do another little switch back? We can, but we don't get good traction. This is our best opportunity yet to try and get past Conway. We're in the slipstream. Can we get him? I'm going to look to the inside. He lets us have the inside. He'll defend. He's pushing us slightly. And he backs off. We come back across to the racing line. We've locked up there. We've gone wide. Can he get past us? No, he can't. And that is the lead of the race on lap 11 here. And then while we're just managing our pace, some exciting news the other day from the developers of Le Mans roadmap of updates coming this year. Obviously there'll be the standard bug fixes, but as for sort of DLC content, hopefully by the end of this month we will have Imola in the game. Although I think from now on all the updates are paid for. Oh no, tell a lie. I think you get 2 GT3s for free when the GT3s come out. But all the other updated content is paid for. What you will. You know, if you want my opinion on it, I think the game obviously came out in early access, so it would have been nice for all that content to be free. But equally, I know motorsport games who develop it have had some financial trouble. And, you know, it was £30 or something when I bought it. I think that's what the price was back in February time. I might be wrong. Yeah, so it's not you know, like your F1 24s where it's like, you know, £50–60. Bit of a discounted game because it's in early access, so you know, as long as the DLCs aren't extortionate, I think, you know, it's reasonable. If it helps them develop the game further and add more features, then I can't really complain. But yes, end of this month, I think Imola will be coming out. They've also teased the Alpine with very early renders of it. So I wonder if that will come out at the same time. But they've announced that they've got 4 hypercars coming, which is what their focus is. So the Alpine, the Lamborghini, the Esotto Francini, and I think the updated Peugeot. I think that's the only other hypercar that is currently missing. They keep the wingless version in the game as well, because I do quite like the wingless version. And then they'll have GT3s, but I think the GT3s are going to come later in the year. Said there, hypercars and tracks are there. So hypercars are, you know, the reason I play this game. They're probably a reason. A lot of people. This year, Mod Assetto Corsa. Obviously the LMDH cars are in iRacing. But any of the wet cars, so the Ferrari, Toyotas, I think you can get the Toyota in Gran Turismo, but not in really any sim picturesque game. And then yeah, as the year goes on, they'll introduce more tracks. So Qatar, Brazil. Can't actually remember what are the tracks. Works Race not this year. Is there a Saudi one? Potentially there might be a Saudi one. And then yeah, GT3s at the end of the year. All good stuff, I think. No news of a dedicated career mode, which is a little bit sad, but you know, who needs a dedicated career mode when you've got My Drive? You know, a lot of you have been asking, or a few have been asking, is there going to be more of this? Like more seasons? And the hope is yes. Depends on when content gets added. But hopefully we can do more of like a proper 2024 season. When that content eventually comes out. As we come on to our second time lapping the hypercars, and you see Conway up horrendously instead. Why is going to give him the race lead? There's a little bit of contact there, side to side. No damage on our part. But that little lapse of concentration there, as we just get onto the grass a bit too much. We're going to keep the inside line. Means that we go a bit deep for the second part. And that was close. Now that we're back onto lapping traffic, might have to get our heads down and concentrate a little bit. Front left is just being absolutely wrecked throughout this stint. Definitely not going to be double stint in these tyres. I think we'll probably just go on to another set of mediums as we scythe our way through the traffic there, making up some time on Conway, I think. So, I think yeah, the decision is mediums or hards. I'm wary about how the hards will deal with in these track conditions, and whether it's even worth putting them on, whether they'll survive. Yep, let's go for it, let's go. New mediums, 90 litres of fuel. We come into the pits. Conway didn't follow us in, so Conway has managed to go an extra lap. That might be detrimental later on. We will have to wait and see. This has been a little bit of a trend that us in the Ferrari, well, I say us, normally it's our teammate Beer Greedy who has to pay an extra time. So we'll have to wait and see as Beer Greedy goes past in 5th. No one else follows us into the pits, so perhaps all that slow pace from the Peugeots and everyone else is purely fuel saving. So we might have to up our fuel saving game in this next stint. So we're just waiting for the... Although actually saying that, we've got Will Stevens, Kevin Estra, Roman Dumar in the pits, so perhaps some of the... Oh no, not Estra. Ignore me. Bamber's in the pits. So yeah, some people have had to pit on the same lap as us. Interesting. Split strategies. What we like to see. We're just finishing up our pit stop now. And away we go. Lots of wheel spin there. And we are back out on track. Let's... Oh, as we've locked up horribly there on our cold tyres. Has that just thrown away the lead of this race? We will have to wait and see. I'd imagine Conway will be pitting this lap. There we go, we've got Porsches in now. Cameron, Estra, Bourdais.
That time was a 2:54.06.
Fly up the field. Interesting. So Duval pitted. But In a bit of a turn of events, Pierre Guidi, who normally pits before us, did not pit and has got an extra 2 laps compared to us. Very, very interesting.
31.89.
There's Conway at the end of the pit, and we have locked up massively there. But we have a bit of a healthy lead over him. And oh, we're getting massively caught up here behind Rexy. And Conway's caught right up to us. I wonder if perhaps why we haven't done as well in fuel is if we're running slightly higher wings, we've been in clear air, we might be quite draggy down the straights. We've got about 13 laps. No, we're trying to fuel save. Now that we've got the Conway behind, might be a touch more difficult, so we might have to let him through. We just have to see how this stint progresses. If I was down. The first stint was very much fuel save and conserve, and this stint feels like they're going more attacking. Oh, very weird there. Just losing the back end and getting tagged by the Toyota. Did that give us any damage? But still not very good. Just really weird braking, flutter braking there. I'm just locking the rears. But Duval is closing up. 10, 11 seconds now. Or potentially as well they might have had some damage. Well, the cars behind might have had some damage in that first stint. It's quite a chaotic start, so perhaps a longer stop while they're a bit slow because of damage. And perhaps had a bit of a longer stop to repair that. Oh my god, as we've just completely messed that corner up. And with that, big mistake there from us. We're going to have to try and catch up with them. Oh, this isn't good. This traffic is putting up a right little fight for us. We'll get these two on this straight, hopefully. I don't think we are going to be able to. Just sit behind for now. Deep sand up the inside. Make it work though. We've really copped Conway now. We're just going to get boxed in behind these GTs a little bit. And we're now right back onto his gearbox. Let's see where we are fuel wise. 8.6, we really want to save some fuel. Let's see if we're behind him, if we can stay with him and save some fuel.
Lap 131.23.
And that is the GT traffic lapped again. Seems like some of the hypercars are really struggling around here. We've got Dillman and Van der Linde only about 12-13 seconds up the road from us. So it looks like we'll start to come around lapping some of the back markers of hypercar.
That time was a 131.1.
Oh, is that rain on our windscreen? I think that might be the first spits of rain on our windscreen. Yep, weather drizzle. Interesting. Very, very interesting. You know, we're only a few... I think it's imperative that we save some fuel here. Just hit the wrong button there. Now, if we can keep our tyres hot enough, we're massive less in case you hear there. If we can keep our tyres hot enough, we want to stay out on the softs, or not the softs, the mediums, dry tyres. Especially at the moment because it's not really wet enough for the wet tyres. As we just creep through here. The Toyota and ourselves getting past the van wall. We're going to try and sneak and move around the outside of the last corner. Not quite. We get good traction down here. Now, as we cross the line, we really want this fuel to update to say that we have enough for 2 laps left.
That time was a
1.9, okay.
1.83.
Going to do massive lift and coast. But at the moment we don't really care if if Conway's ahead even. We just want to try and get as far as we can on this fuel. Fuel is low, because you know if we come into pit, don't you worry, I know. I think we're just about going to have enough to do another lap. If we go around the outside of the Porsche there, onto the back of Conway again, we're really going to cut it fine with fuel, but we've committed. Oh, as there's traffic there, we go 4 wide briefly, and we're up past Conway, but we're going to lift and coast massively. As wow, that was a sketchy moment. We're just going to try and keep Conway behind. Got the headlights on now because it's very dark. We need to go on as Conway. Oh, that was very unfortunate there. As I think we actually got hit by the Porsche. We decided to back out of it. Conway was up our inside, or around our outside even. Not a lot we could do there. And now we're just... the track is damp. It's going to keep raining until the end of the race, so we've got to make a decision. Decision now, really. We're just going to pause it here as we make our decision. I think we've got to go on to the wets. I think if the track's already down and it's just going to keep raining, we probably want to be on the wets. Am I making a Ferrari strategy? I don't know. You comment down below. But we're going to go for wets, I think. Let's do it. We're really low on energy as well. We're just going to ease it into the pits as Conway has lost it into the pits! As we've crashed into Conway! It's all gone pear-shaped! Oh my goodness! What an absolute disaster there!
So here we
and
have
this race has just been pit stops. Conway comes in too quickly, clips the wall, spears into the barrier, and that causes us, you know, we've got nowhere to go. We hit straight into him. See that damage on our front end. And as he's now stuck in the wall trying to find reverse. And he does find reverse, bounce along the barrier there. And away he goes. I think he probably got away with not a lot of damage, though I think he did have to stop for... there for us, I think. Stop to there's chaos up ahead. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, as there's carnage in the pits. Cars everywhere. This rain has caused absolute pandemonium. What on earth happened there? Let's try and take a look back now. They're going to make our way down. I think if we go on board here, we'll be able to see this absolute cluster up ahead. Let's see. So this has turned the race up onto its head. We've got Conway and Duresta and Pierguidi have gone past us. And Buemi perhaps not having any damage. And that means that we're now in 5th. About to be 6th. As Kubica goes past us as well. So absolute upset here. At Fuji. And hopefully you guys have seen that replay. I'm tried to replay it in the session, but didn't quite get to see it. The game was quite laggy, so didn't quite get to see it as we go up the inside there. Bit of a late move from us, but absolute madness. As the pit crew are concerned, so perhaps we're on the wrong tyre here. Perhaps they want us on a dry tyre, perhaps. Which makes me think everyone else is on that dry tyre as well. But I think conditions are wet enough for the wet tyre. speechless. So we had so much is going on. I'm trying to concentrate here as I'm trying to read what I've just witnessed. So we've had Conway spin into the pits, which then caused us to crash into him. There's then been chaos in the pits with people sideways. There was a Peugeot sideways. There was, as we come through traffic here, side our way through. There was a Cadillac sideways. There was, as we almost go off circuit a bit there. I'm really unsure what tyres Kubitza's on as we get very close to comfort there. We look to make a move around the outside. We're on the marbles with 3 wide, and we've made a move around the outside of Kubica. We go past and GT there as well. So yeah, absolute chaos has struck the 1.5 hours of Fuji, and it means that we've gone from a race win position, fighting with Conway, to what, 20 seconds off our teammate. How far was Pierre Guidi off of us? Massively far. So bad luck has struck us here at Fuji as we run on having absolutely zero grip here in these tricky conditions. We've spun it, and our race goes from bad to worse as we're just almost beached on the curb there. Our race has just gone down the absolute toilet. It says Conway. Conway's in 6th? What happened to Conway? We've got massive flat spots on our tyres. He's now coming into the pits. Is he coming in for wets? I've got no clue what is going on in this race. We just got to try and keep on the grey stuff. So I think what we'll be telling is how quickly we catch Kubica. Kubica's 6 seconds ahead. Oh yeah, we've got so much more grip than Durrani, so I think potentially our one-saving great as everyone else came into the... Oh, everyone who pitted then. Pitted for dries. Meanwhile we're on the wets, and it's now light rain. The track is slightly wet. So we are on the right conditions for the track. You see we're just so slow behind Durrani here. But we have so much more grip than him. This might be the one thing that saves our race. Our race has gone from absolute despair, or fighting for the win, to absolute despair, losing so much time, to now potential elation again as Kubica peels off into the pits. Buemi and Pierre Guidi still not pitting, and whoever else is in first position. But Buemi 16 seconds ahead as we just understeer plane off the track there. I mean, we've got wets on, we've got no grip. You know, very cold wets as well. They're not warming up particularly well. But I think the front 3, well at least the front 3rd and 2nd, are in dries. With the rate that we are catching. catching them. And we've caught Buemi almost 4 seconds this lap. As we've just hit into the back of him there, with the Ferrari clump. As we just try and recover anything from this race, really. And is Buemi in the pits? Pierguidi's in the pits. It looks like Buemi might be in the pits as well. Conway's back in the pits. Conway's had an absolute stinker. Buemi is in the pits. And Di Resta's in the pits. Di Resta was in first. And we've come through to take the race lead again. So we're back to where we were before the manic pit stops. We've gone from losing so much time to being back in the race lead. We'll have to wait and see as the cars behind come out of their pit stops how far ahead we are. The track is seriously wet now, lots of spray being kicked up. And we're about 30, 31, 32 seconds ahead. So Durrani has been the big gainer there. Well, at the moment he is anyway. At the moment he's... Or people are trying to retire. How do I say that? So I wonder if there's been more pandemonium in the pits. Very slippy pits when it's wet. And the air can be a bit stupid. But this race has just been turned up on its head. And out of all of that, we seem to have risen to the top. Our job now, last 20 minutes. Can we get this fuel to the end? If there's a yellow flag. Looks like the yellow flag is in the pit lane. And there's a Cadillac, I think, who's sideways. But hopefully with the wet conditions, we use that. I can't even speak. We'll use less fuel. Our virtual energy saying we've got 23 minutes left, which is perfect. Let's just keep an eye on that and really concentrate here. So we make a mistake. We've already seen us make a mistake on these wet tyres. There's very little grip out. And as we now on to the final lap of the race, it's been a very difficult final stint. Very low track temp, a very low track grip. There's been a few off-track excursions, but nothing to really worry about as we get awfully close to that Ferrari there. It's been very, very steady. And as things stand, this is going to be a brilliant race for us in the championship. They will have to double check at the end as we make a very risky move there. Massively lock up there. You just cannot see through the spray. With the GT cars absolutely crawling here. And we're just trying to find a way through. So we've got four-wheel drive, probably thicker tyres, or wider tyres even. So a bit more grip. But what an absolutely chaotic race. From the back and forth battle between me and Conway to it all falling away at the pit stops, then all coming back to us. But as we struggle to put power down out of the final corner, we speed towards the line, and we have won the 1.5 hours of Fuji, and the championship is back on. So after it turns out it was a Ferrari 1-2. First, I presume perhaps on the last lap there was some crazy crazy battling going on. I'm not really too sure what happened with the timing, but we're going to take it. So it was a win for us, followed by Pierre Guidi in second, Paul Dresser in third, and Robert Cupid having race in fourth. And then the Hertz team Jota of Antonio Felix Acosta beating out the Works Penske Porsche of Kevin Estre, Kevin van der Linde, or Sheldon van der Linde even, scoring points for BMW finally. Tom Dillman returning to the points, to the top 10 in the Van Wall. Mike Conway went from leading the race, having the battle with us, to finish in 9th. And then we're going to have to go scroll quite a way down to find the rest of the hypercars. As I've just messed that up. We've got the other BMW in 10th of Van Thor, then the Toyota of Buemi, Will Stevens in the Toyota, Raymond Dumas in the Glickenhaus, Felipe Nasr in the other Penske Porsche, Felipe Durrani in the Action Express Cadillac, Dame Cameron in the last of the Porsches, Earl Bamber in the Cadillac, Luke Duval, one of the championship contenders, DNFing on lap 36, and also DNFing, and last place of the hypercar was Sebastian Bourdais in the final Cadillac. So that means there's lots of drivers and team championship. We retake the lead of the championship with that win. The rest losing out 10 points to us. £24 points of Conway as well. To gain on him for 4th place. Other big movers, Kubica having an excellent race, Costa having an excellent race. Quickly moving up onto the back of Bamber in the Cadillac. Tom Dillman returning obviously to the points. The two Stevens no points on the table obviously. There's only this race and Monza, so there's still 2 races left for him to score points. And now looking at the team, quite big over us in the Ferrari, but we have only 7. Cadillac in the battle of the LMDHs, with AF Corsa beating Jota at the moment for the best of the customer teams, and BMW WRT move up ahead of Glickenhaus and Action Express Cadillac, just behind Van Wall. 1.5 hours of Fuji. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. Next time out, we're going to be in Bahrain, the special event that is Le Mans. We'll be doing a bit of a longer event for Le Mans. Potentially might just put the whole race up on YouTube. Have to wait and see what I feel like. But until next time, I hope you have a wonderful week. We will catch up and all around at Bahrain.